something to do with the gameplay of Yawi on the Grok. He closed down business. He literally closed down Yawi's food hub against Blacklist International and did not give any form of free farm towards the gold laner.
Definitely no farm at all. So much space given as well because of just the little mechanics that he's able to pull off. Amazing walls throughout. A lot of people, take advantage of the wild charge, the power of nature, but that barrier for Yawi, it's another CC/zoning ability that he utilizes so well in these team fights. I think a couple of times Blacklist International were completely zoned out from the Lord Pit actually because of a well-placed wall. We've seen this throughout the regular season, and we also mentioned it earlier when it was the last pick for Echo. We were thinking, maybe they need some more AoE CC, something like an Atlas, but hey, that can be purified. The Grok, a bit too instant to be purified.
Yeah, even if you purify, the position is there for Echo. And I love the start that Echo managed to pull off. Again, with the minion thing that Yawi did, it felt like he found the ingredient against Ubi's strategy. You don't fight Blacklist, you fight the minions. You control the resources that Blacklist gets. And even if Blacklist gets to the turtle first, you try to contest it as much as you can. Because the thing about Echo's lineup is that their scaling, it's linear. They're still strong at mid-game. Even if we give up some kills in the start, as long as Blacklist does not get a turtle for free, they're going to be able to get that power spike even much faster compared to what Blacklist is supposed to do. Like, say you can imagine Blacklist ramping up towards the late game, but you also have to go towards where Echo is really strong in the mid game. So it's kind of like trading the idea of resources that Wise is used to doing. Echo took that personally and made a macro decision. Hey, let's not be passive here. Let's try to fight against Blacklist International so that we stop any form of momentum that we can get. And when they were able to get the resources up on Benecutie, that's where things start to go out of control for Blacklist International. Every lane was visited by the Orcas.
Why that can happen is honestly, again, from the mid-control that Echo will not let go. Blacklist International, they came up with a few new adjustments here in game number 2 with the draft coming in. They already picked up a Farsa, a lot of mid-control with the Faramis into the roam, and even the Baxia. So they have a lot of mobility that they didn't have in game number 1. But Echo, they're always a step ahead, right? They pick up the Yi, but they go for another dynamic here with Grok in the mid lane. Again, easily clearing out waves, and obviously that barrier can stop the mid waves from coming down, and it automatically just builds up to Echo's push in the end. For Blacklist International as well, you can really see it here from the teamfight participation. It feels like Owl is a bit too passive this game. We mentioned that maybe it's because of the matchups that we've given him so many times, but I think for the sake of it, right? Sanford is your MVP for game number 2.
Relive the moment where Sanford brought chaos to Indonesia. Now he's bringing chaos towards Blacklist International. Again, you mentioned the presence of the Lapu-Lapu. That final kill onto the carry, albeit some might say it's a little bit unnecessary, but it adds the style points for Echo. And you know what? That's what Echo is known for. The style of the kills that they make, the ability to find kills where nobody could find it. And Sanford seems to have this constant ability to make kills happen for the squad. And it feels like the shutdown came from this man alone. Like, we saw a team fight in the mid lane where Blacklist International grouped up. They were able to take one kill on Echo. But Sanford was like, hey, I remember this moment. I'm always at this moment. I see 4 heroes, I jump. I take 2 heroes, and suddenly, it's the end of the game.
As someone once said, right, he knows exactly what to do. And in that particular situation, he did as well. I think it's completely necessary, honestly. Looking at it, getting the carry down in a high ground defense, but all throughout the game, you could see the adjustments made by Blacklist International. This wasn't the same game, though it was the same outcome. Blacklist International made a few of the right adjustments, but it's a bit too steady and it's a bit too slow.
Yep.
They got the early game, but in the mid game, they still were actually just brought into that chaos that Echo constantly pushes onto you.
They did a fantastic job on holding Echo before they get to that point where momentum is just on their side. Yue was doing a fantastic job on the far side, but again, as I mentioned, it feels like there is a certain aspect or department on the side of Blacklist that is severely lacking. It is the presence of the gold laner. Maybe it's because of the matchup between the Beatrix and the carry. That's why I feel like Echo is prioritizing these aggressive gold laners like the Harriets, the Lunox, even the Mincitars, because they figured out that late game, yes, it's a thing that they need to contest, the carry and Claude matchup, but Echo synergizes with this hero pretty well. Like the Beatrix Again, we discussed it earlier when Benecutie was able to get his items. By minute 8, Echo was everywhere. They were all over the map, and Blacklist International, they were trying to find more resources, more farm for Owl, but it did not happen because Echo was always in the face of the carry. Sanford, personally, was always in front of Owl.
We gotta give massive props to Coach Tic Tac, man, because we keep on bringing up the drafts, the winning lanes, and it's all set up by Coach Tic Tac, right? You could see, again, just how it ultimately works in the end, coming together in a very chaotic mess. Even in the last team fight, it was chaotic.
Yeah, this